everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the Business Guru, coming to you with another episode of 15 Minutes of Fame. And guys, what I'd love you to do is like and subscribe to this channel, and you'll get to be able to contact awesome guests, just like my next guest, all the way from the UK. He's an awesome guy. He's got something very interesting. It's quite a unique service. And if you'd like to your 15 Minutes of Fame, feel free to reach out. But in the meantime, let me introduce my new guest. My last one for the day is 10:30 at night here. And we've got a gentleman by the name of 𝐷𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐿. 𝐷𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐿 was a social worker, public speaker, and author. Family court coaching, social care. He's done this for 30 years, guys. So I think he knows a little bit about it. So, and the worst you can do, guys, in his case, a cup of tea, cup of coffee, after hours, maybe a cold beer online, reach out to Mike, have a chat, cost you nothing, right? So he's always up for a chat, and as am I. So reach out, guys. If you need some help, reach out. His mission is helping people prepare for family court. You know, it might be divorce, might be some sort of case, it might be a business matter. He helps you prepare and makes it stressful-free cross-examination. His key achievements has been mastering my fear of giving evidence and managing cross-examination and helping out, because those lawyers give you a bloody hard time. You know, they try and trip you up and they try and make you look like you're an idiot, right? So Mike will take you all through that, what to expect and how to overcome it, and helping others do the same. In addition to writing a book about giving evidence, you can achieve anything you want once you truly decide that you're no longer prepared to put up what was. And as I say, the past is the past. Live in the present. You can't control the past is gone. You can't control the future. What you can do, though, you can control the present, and you can plan for the future. So, guys, stay in the present. Focus. He recently immersed himself in public speaking, and he wished he'd done so years ago. So he's starting to learn the value of communication. That's what it's all about, my friend. And I'm going to put all Mike's details in the chat, so you'll be able to reach out to him. He's got your Facebook, your normal thing, your Facebook groups. All his social media links will be all over YouTube, Facebook groups, Reddit, Quora, the whole 9 yards. So, guys, if you want something just like Mike, reach out. Now, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Mike Watson. How are you, Michael?
Well, I'm great, thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much for the introduction.
No trouble. It's a pleasure. Don't forget to send my bottle of scotch like you promised me. No,
okay.
I'm kidding. Guys, let's get started. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path. Where did it all begin?
Right. It began over 30 years ago, Jeff. Yes. I was a young, inexperienced social worker, and I was working with a 3-year-old little girl.
Wow.
And I very soon realized I didn't want to see the family. It wasn't that I didn't want to see this little girl, but I didn't want to see the parents because the parents detested me. And They showed me that they detested me in every single way they could at every opportunity they got. And I was young and inexperienced, and I wanted to be liked. And hey, I was in the wrong job because I wasn't going to be liked.
Yep.
So it made it a very uncomfortable situation, but I didn't have an option. I was a child social worker, so I had to go and see them. But now picture the scene. It's a glorious summer's day. And believe it or not, we still do have some glorious summer's days in the UK.
We have lots here.
very rare in the UK, just very rare.
Right.
And on lovely summer's days, I feel great. But on this particular day, I didn't feel great because I had to go and see this family. So I went to see the family, went up in the lift because they lived in a high-rise block of flats. Got there, knocked on the door. The mother came out, sneered at me, and went straight back inside. That's the way she habitually treated me.
Yes.
As I went through the threshold, it was just like stepping into a different world, a totally different world. You see, outside the sun was shining. It was bright. It was
yes.
warm and lovely.
Yeah.
Inside this flat, it was cold. It was dark. It was eerie.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd stepped into a horror story. Mm-hmm. The flat was a shell. The furniture was they hardly had any furniture. The wallpaper was ripped. The carpets were torn.
Oh.
The place didn't stink, but it didn't smell particularly pleasant.
Right.
And the parents were over one side of the flat, not talking to me. If I spoke to them, the best I get is a grunt or a groan. The mother was the only one of the parents that ever looked at me, but when she looked at me, she always had a snarl. The only person that gave me any degree of welcome was this 3-year-old little girl, and she's always in her playpen, holding on to these bars like that.
She's in jail.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I thought she was in jail.
Yeah.
And when I looked at this girl, the things I remember about her was she always looked grubby. She had stains on her
terrible.
things and stains on her eye, on her face, where her tear stains had rolled down her cheeks and were now mingling with the snot in between her nose and her mouth.
God.
She just needed some care and attention. She never seemed to get it.
Yes.
The thing that really got me about this little girl were her eyes. She was only looking at me, no one else, not her parents, not any, and that never made sense to me.
Yes.
One day, I got this phone call from my manager asking me to come into work early. She said there'd been a tragedy in one of my cases. She didn't tell me which one. And I went into work thinking someone's hurt themselves, must have been some sort of accident. That's all I could think. When I saw my manager, she seemed to take a deep breath. And then she whispered, she mouthed the words that made it clear to me that my life was never going to be the same.
Yes.
She told me the little girl had been brutally murdered by her father.
Oh, God. Yeah. Wow. What a story.
And what that meant was that I was going to have to give an account of the work that I'd done and what I hadn't done.
Yes.
And chief amongst that, the people I'd have to give this account to was the court. Now, at the time, I was inexperienced. I'd never been to court. I didn't know what to expect.
Yep.
But I knew enough from the way people were talking around me that it wasn't going to be pleasant. It certainly wasn't going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
I also knew that there had been some people around me that kind of distanced themselves, because you may not know, but you know, maybe your audience might know, but the worst thing you can experience as a social worker, apart from being killed yourself, is being a social worker of a child that's been killed. That is the absolute worst thing. So people kind of distance themselves, and it made an already isolating experience more lonely. The other thing I remember just before, in the days and weeks coming up to court, was that court was like this big, dark, heavy cloud just waiting to happen. That's what it represented to me, because I didn't want to go, but I had to go. So It felt like this horrible thing that was hanging over me, this doom, which was waiting to happen to me.
Yes.
As I said, I went to court. It was a court in London. Picture a big stone cathedral. It was like that.
Yeah.
When I got through the electronic security, the first thing I remember was just how cold it was. It was freezing in there. This is a big stone building. But it wasn't just cold in terms of the temperature. It was cold in terms of the atmosphere. Because I don't know if your audience, you know, Jeff, or the audience knows, but courts aren't pleasant places. They're toxic places.
Not at all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very
You
toxic.
certainly remember them.
Yeah, you definitely do. Eventually, I found myself I got where I was meant to be, because there are many different courts. I found the court I was meant to be in at, and I was placed in this witness box. Now, I don't know about you, Jeff, I don't know about your audience. If you've ever been placed somewhere that you don't want to be, where you want to be anywhere else, where you feel trapped,
Yes.
You know exactly how I felt that day.
Little box,
that's how I felt. Yeah. I didn't want to be there. Yeah. And while I'm sitting there in that witness box, I'm being asked these horrible, horrible questions. These barristers are making out that I'm the one responsible for the death of the child.
Yeah, why didn't you do something about it? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making it. It's all my fault.
So, guilt trip on you.
Yeah. So at a time when I'm at my lowest ebb, when I'm traumatized, when I'm feeling guilty, when I'm going through loss, when I'm neither prepared emotionally, psychologically, or professionally for giving evidence because I'm new and inexperienced, that's the time I'm being asked to try and answer these horrible, horrible questions. And these questions are coming in thick and fast. In fact, they're like darts that have been hurled across the air towards me. And of course, I'm like this massive dartboard, because they can't miss me. I can't get out of the way. I don't know how to deflect it. I don't know how to answer the questions. They're just hitting me all over. Now, are they hitting me physically? No. Are they hurting me physically? No. But emotionally and psychologically,
they're destroying you.
The most intense pain. Yeah. And I'm in such pain that at one stage I think I'm in denial, because I'm thinking, this can't be happening to me. This isn't real.
Wow.
And I think there's got to be someone here who helps you. Someone here's got to have a heart. Someone here's got to care. Yeah. But as I look around the room, I don't see anyone who seems to have a heart. I don't see anyone who seems to care. All I see is cold, hard stares and glares looking back at me. And I realized at the moment that I'm on my own. I'm going to have to deal with this ordeal by myself.
Yes.
No one's coming to help me. And as that realization dawns on me, I think of this poor little girl who's in her playpen because she's hoping, wishing, begging, pleading that someone's going to help her.
Yes.
And you know what? I realized at that moment, she's hoping and wishing and begging that I'm the person that's going to help her.
That's why she's looking at you. That's right.
That's why she's looking at me. She's not looking at her mum or her dad because she knows that they're the people who are harming her.
Yes.
She's looking at me because I'm her one hope. Yeah. But I can't read what her facial expressions and her body language is trying to say to me. I'm not experienced enough. I'm not well enough attuned to her. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to save her. I wish to God I had been able to.
Yes.
So that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
And that puts you on this new journey, right?
Yeah. But there are things going on for her and me that are very similar. Just a few things. None of us want to be in our respective prisons. We're all both hoping that someone's going to come and save us, but we're hoping in vain because no one's coming.
I tell people,
you've
got to get out of your own way. No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save you.
You know, they don't even want you to be successful. That can be family and friends sometimes. You know, you've got to get your own cheer squad, guys. You know?
Yeah.
Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
The most challenging aspect, one of the most challenging, was actually dealing with the fact that some people don't like you, they hate you. And you have to just get to the point where you think, you know what, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for your child. Even if your child doesn't like me, I'm doing it for your child. Because I know what I think is best for them, and I'm working with the court. So that was always a very challenging thing. It's also challenging to deal with the way that sometimes public treat social workers.
Yes. They see you as interfering, not realizing that a lot of cases have to be interfered with.
Yeah. They don't recognize it. And what I also realize is that, a lot of children are being killed by their parents. It's not
not just killed. There's aunties and uncles. There's rape. There's incest. It's all
sorts of things.
It's all happening. And back in the day, it's coming to the surface now. But back in the day when you and I were young, that stuff was sort of like no one would ever believe the child. You wouldn't, and you get bashed up or beaten up for even dare bringing it up. Yeah.
But the thing is, we grow up thinking it's strangers. It's not strangers. It's people who know, people who you think should be caring for you. Those are the people.
People, sadly, who we trust.
Yes,
that's the big one. Right. Yeah. Tell me, what's an important moment in your career that pretty much changed your direction? I guess it was that
was it. That court, going through the trauma of the loss of that child, the child dying, and going to court. That was it. Because at the end of the court, when the judge released me, I wanted to run 1,000,000 miles from court. But I decided, something stopped me and said, no, Michael, you're not going to do that. You are going to go back to court again and again and again, because what happened to you today is never going to happen to you again.
Yes.
And that's what I did.
Yeah, lovely. Tell us, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have helped contribute to your success? You're obviously a great communicator, and I might add, a very good storyteller. That was an awesome story.
Thank you.
So what, in your opinion, what are your key qualities and skills, Mike? Obviously, communication is a big one for you.
Communication, when you're giving, you have to be calm. Mm-hmm. When you're giving evidence, you have to be calm, because think about it, Jeff. When you're angry, that's why people, when angry, you can't reason.
That's right.
The ability to reason is gone. Yeah,
correct.
You have to have that capacity to be reasoned. You have to have a great attitude. Sometimes when you're giving evidence, people are abusing you. They're saying horrible things about you. You just have to not let that get to you. And mentally, you have to shut that bit off and don't let it get to you. You have to be in control of your thoughts and feelings.
And it's not personal. It's a bit of almost a game, isn't it?
It is a game, yeah.
One side's trying to win, and one side's trying to make sure you don't win.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to learn and innovate in your field these days?
I think I started doing social work, working with children, because I had my own experience as a child that, my mum and dad separated, and I realized I felt I had something to give to children.
Yes.
I still feel I have something to give to children, but I feel I've got to give it in a different way now, and with a much wider range. with parents and adults and with the world. Really, I think there's so much that the world needs to hear about.
Yes.
They need to know how to defend themselves at court. And Jeff, let me give you just a very quick thing. If someone attacks you on the street, you know what you're going to do. You're going to run and hide. You're going to fight back. You're going to
fight. Yeah.
Call the police, or you're going to, get someone's help.
Yeah.
If someone attacks you in the witness box, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you never had the experience before, ever.
Exactly.
And the other remember the other guy is a professional at tearing you down.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. You're not on a level playing field. What I'm trying to do, Jeff, is get a much leveler playing field for anyone who's giving evidence.
Right.
That's what I'm really trying to do.
Yeah, and that can be in any case. Because not just children. We're talking about divorce, guys. Divorce is extremely stressful. That would be the biggest of a lot, probably, because 50% of the population, sadly, if not more, gets divorced at some stage.
Yeah.
And then at that time, they hate each other. They don't want to communicate, so they end up in court. And each lawyer's trying to do his best to get a good result for his client.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, oh, you got to tell the court that she was a whore, she was a bad person. You think, no, that's the woman I loved, the mother of my children. Why would I say that? Say, well, if you don't say that, you're not going to win. They're trying to coach you. Into saying bad stuff. All that. Been there, done that. Tell us about a recent project, something more recent, or achievement you're particularly proud of. Something you've done more recently.
I think I was working with a young woman who she'd been. Actually, this was with social services. She'd been treated in a certain way with because I don't know, they'd seen her in a certain way, and because they saw her in a certain way, they thought that she was harming her children. But what she was really trying to do is just keep manage her children.
Keep in line.
Keep them in line, and
the old clip over the years when you and I were boys.
Yeah, well, she wasn't even hitting them, but she was, she gave them discipline when it's required, and she was arguing occasionally with the father of her child, and the father saw things in a different way, and it was really quite hard because she also had her own disability. She had a disability, so it made it very tough for her, and she's a mother on her own. So I had to help her through that process and help her, give her a lot of emotional support and as well as the practical support. And it helped because in the end, she was actually able to, get the social services off her back. She had the care of her children, and she managed it, and it was great in the end. But it was a hard slog for quite a while.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, it's about communication. I've seen it. I've seen it all. I've seen that in real life myself, pretty much. Tell me, what advice would you give someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and get into your field and help people? What advice would you give them? Listen, I'm going to be very blunt with you. If anyone wanted to be a social worker, do that, I would say to them, don't do it for a short while. Yeah. Do it for a number of about 3, 4, 5 years, but then get the hell out of there. Yeah. And the reason I'd say that, health,
well, it's a very stressful job.
Yeah.
And you have to take care of yourself. And in the end, it does give you things. There's the benefits in doing social work. There's things you learn, but in the end, it takes more from you than it gives.
Yes. Yeah. And like you say, it's part of a journey, isn't it? It's all part of a journey.
Yeah.
Like, you've done your bit for society. You've given and give a bit. Now give something to yourself. Like it's up to me, to look after yourself, right? In the end of the day.
You have to. A lot of people die, get killed.
Be the best version of yourself. Tell me, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future, Michael?
I want to continue doing my public speaking. I want to get really, really successful at that. I want to want my business to go international. I want to help not just people in the UK. I want to help people all over the world, all over the globe, who need to know how to give evidence, need to know how to defend themselves, need to be able to give themselves the very best chance of getting the result they want at court. Because hey, people don't go to court because it's a fun and games. They go to court because they need to. Yeah. So that's what I want to do.
And then when you think about it, for every winner, there's a loser.
Yeah.
That's the other side of the coin, guys. And Mike, what will you be doing with it? Will you be doing courses or one-on-one? What will you be doing?
Courses. I want to do the whole range. Courses, one-on-one. I want to do webinars. I want to actually even have things where people are away, you take them away where they can learn. All sorts of things that actually help people.
And probably podcasts. So we can hear other people's journeys. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely
podcasts. Podcasts would be awesome. A good way of reaching people too. Tell me, people watching this and learning about your wonderful story and listening, how can they reach out to you? What's the best way at the moment?
They can reach out to me on Facebook. My name's Michael Watson. They can reach out to me on Instagram. Michael, my handle's Michael240656. They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I've also got a incredible witness newsletter on LinkedIn. Yeah, so they can reach out to me there. I am on Twitter on Family Court Coach. Yep. It's X now.
We'll be putting Michael's links on all these social media channels, including our own, and you'll be able to find him and reach out. And Michael, I guess you're always inviting people, make an appointment. You're always up for a chat and offer a bit of advice to people.
Definitely.
Yeah, so there it is, guys. There's your opportunity. If you're going through a bit of trauma, or you just want some, helpful advice, how to look after yourself and how to handle these things, I got to tell you, I had one where I had to go against a former spouse, my live-in girlfriend. We went up, and she had one lot of lawyers had dumped her. There was 3 of them, and 2 other new ones. There was 5 of them, and I rock up on a cold day with a black coat like the mafia. I said, "Good morning, gentlemen." And they said, "Oh, Mr. Veale, where's your lawyer?" And I said, "I'm representing myself. That makes me the lawyer." One of the guys said, "Oh, he's right." Here I am taking on 5 guys. I go into the courtroom and the judge says, "Oh, Mr. Veale, are you okay with this? Are you clear on all of this?" I said, "Crystal, Your Honor." And I took on these 5 lawyers, and then what they did, they wanted some security. They wouldn't run away or something, and they took over. They took one of my houses. They said, "Oh, we'll take one of his properties, like 15 Smith Street, whatever." And they took one of my properties, and the judge said, "Are you happy?" "Oh, yes, sir. They can have it." But they call it like I don't know if you know the word, a lien. That means lien. Yeah. So I can't sell it or do anything with that property, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, It's really funny. So we hop in the lift. It's all over. They're all smiling and smirking to themselves. We hop in the lift on the 20th floor, 20, 19, 18, 15, 14, 13. I said, "Gents, by the way, I don't know if you know or not, that property's worth 800,000. I wonder, does it matter that I owe the bank 750,000? Anyway, have a nice day, guys. Goodbye." She was in their faces. It was so funny. It was so darn funny, And then I went back and saw the lawyers later. I won that car. I went back and saw the lawyers direct without I don't want any lawyers, waste my money. I went and saw them and said, "Listen, I'm an old man. I'm going overseas soon. How much does she owe you at the moment?" They said, "Oh, 30,000. I said, "Don't waste your time trying to get a couple of 100,000 out of me. I'll give you 40,000 today. That's my final offer." Guess what?
Yeah.
They took the 40,000 and she got 10. There you go. That's how the game's played, my friend.
Yep.
You got to know how to play the game.
Definitely.
I played the game to perfection. Right?
Well done.
And the funny part was, I was happy if I had to. I was happy to give 200,000 if I had to.
Yeah.
But it turned out I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Because I went and saw them. I went to the Lion's Den and negotiated with them.
Good.
And that comes back, as you said. But you're an awesome storyteller, Mike. You're going to be very successful, my friend, because you're I love your stories and the way you tell them. It's like a mini series. It's fantastic. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself away from this that people don't know about you.
Oh God! You know what? I wrote something down. Can I remember it now? Let me think.
You're a chess player.
Let me think. I love poetry.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I can see that in you because you tell the story so bloody well. So very, very good. Anyway, Mike, thanks for being a guest on the show today. It's been awesome having you here. And people, if you want to reach out and get help from people like Michael, please do so. If you want to be on 15 Minutes of Fame, guys, love to have you. All this month, we've got about 15 episodes left. Come on and be a guest. Every man and woman's got a story. Come on and tell your story. We'd love to hear it. So thanks very much, Mike. Once again.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Thank you so much.